This is the tutorial on how to make a matching and sorting activity using GoVizzle.com. With the provided username and password, fill those in and then click the login button to sign in. This is the screen you will come to. Once you come to this screen, you will click on Create for the purposes of this tutorial. Once you click Create, you will come to this screen right here. This screen allows you to pick the type of lesson you would like to create. What we are going to do is come down to the bottom of the screen, click on the option for Legacy Lesson Types. Once you come to that screen, on the next page, you will select Matching, as we are going to be building a matching activity. Once you have selected Matching, you're going to come down to the Go to Authoring button and click on that. Once it is pulled up on the next screen, you will notice it looks a little different. This will be the home base that we will be operating out of for creating lessons. For this particular option, you have a question and an answer box. We are going to start out by creating a number identifying activity. So in order to do that, we're going to go all the way to the very top of the screen, type in the number 1, because we want our student to be able to identify the number 1. Then we're going to go over to the left side of the screen where you will have noticed images have popped up. We're going to select the number 1 that's in the top left corner. To do so and populate in the question box, we are going to click and drag as such over to the question box where it has now populated. We are now going to do the same click and drag, but for the answer box. This box now matches the question so that the student knows what number to identify and what the correct answer for this is. Now we need to create distractors. You will notice on the right side of the screen there is a section that is blank labeled distractors. We are going to add 2 distractors to this question. Go down to the bottom of the screen, click the button that says Add Distractor twice to add 2 distractors. You will notice there is an outlined rectangle up top in blue and then 2 rectangles underneath. Those are our distractors that we will be populating. So we're going to go back up to the top of the screen, type in the number 2 and hit enter. Our options for the number 2 have shown up. We're going to click on the one in the top left corner and drag all the way over to that blue lined rectangle where it will populate for us. Now we need to fill in the other distractor. In order to do so, we need to come down to this empty square and click. That will allow us to populate the other distractor. We are going to type in on our search bar up top the number 3 and hit enter. By where we are going to select the number 3 on the left side of the screen, we are going to click and drag to that rectangle that is outlined in blue. You will notice now both squares are populated with the number 3. We have now filled in our second distractor. Our next step is going to be adding another question. In order to add another question, we are going to tap the Add Pair bottom of the screen and click. We're going to do the same thing except for we want to have our student identify the number 2. So let's go to the top of the screen in the search bar, type in the number 2 and hit enter, and we will click and drag the number 2 into the question and answer box. We're going to do the same thing now with distractors. Again, add distractor at the bottom right of the screen, click twice to add 2 distractors. We're going to go up to the top of the screen in the search bar and type in the number 4. We're going to click and drag from the left side of the screen the number 4 all the way to the right. Let's populate our second distractor now. Go up to the search bar. Let's type in the number 5. We'll take the number 5 after we select our next distractor by clicking on the empty box. Click and drag the number 5 over to the right on that blue outlined rectangle. Now, we need to make sure everything works between the two questions. In order to do so, we're going to go to this black triangle over here towards the middle of the screen. This will allow us to navigate between questions. It will populate on the left or the right side to navigate between questions. Now that we have the two questions answered, we need to go and make sure our activity is customized to fit our needs. So we're going to go to the top left and click on the tab button that says Options. And on the next screen, we're going to see there are multiple options now that we have. We are going to give the lesson a name. We're going to say Matching Numbers. We're going to give the description, Matching Numbers 1 and 2. And then we are going to come down to the Save In and select the folder that we will save it to. We are going to keep it on My Lessons for the purpose of this tutorial. Now, let's go in and choose the number of choices under Advanced Options. So we're going to come back up to the top of the screen, click Advanced Options. This will bring us to another screen. It will allow us to select the number of choices on this slider, all the way from 1 all the way up to 10. We're going to keep it the default at 3. You can also make your questions at the top or at the bottom. You can make your tiles small or large. We keep going down below. You will notice you can change the border color. I prefer black. And the border size from a thin border to a really thick border. Now it looks about right from there. You can also go into additional options by going back to the top and clicking on additional options to change whether you want randomizing the tiles, pair numbering, your prompting, the initial prompting, whether it has a red X or the incorrect answer disappears, what happens at the end of the activity, what reward is shown, the reinforcer, which is when the student selects the correct answer, what populates on the screen. Now that we are ready to save it completely, we're going to click Save As at the very top middle of the screen. And this window is going to come up. We have already gave the lesson a name, a description, and selected the folder that it's going to live in. So now we can click the Save button. Now that we have saved the lesson, we can exit authoring and go try the activity with our students. We're going to go to the top left corner and click Exit Authoring. And this will take us back to our home screen. I hope you have learned something from this tutorial. Feel free to go back and follow along and create your own Vizzle activity.